All right, General Ghai, laying out the course that India adopted to avenge Pahalgam. In fact, a very professional briefing in which the details of the operations and what kind of a damage, what kind of tactical damage they have done to Pakistani assets and military bases has been outlined. In fact, it's crystal clear that Pakistan had suffered and suffered a lot, and the proof was also shown of the installations of the army bases, of the Air Force bases, the damage before and after. There was a very professional presentation that was put out. In fact, I'm going to show you some of those grabs that were in fact displayed at this press conference. It was made very, very clear that the intention was always to take out Pakistani terror camps, and that's exactly what happened. They spoke about Muridke, they spoke about Bahawalpur. This is the first grab of Jacobabad, the airfield, in which it is evidently clear as to what this installation looked like. If you can see there on the top, and what became of it after our attack at the screen on the bottom. It was also made very, very clear to the Pakistanis that if they will respond in a certain way, our response, our retaliation is going to be double that. This was a message which was also reinstated by our naval fleets which were on standby at the Arabian Sea. In fact, to take away what exactly they said, that our posture was that of deterrence, and our posture was that of ferocity, that if there was any foul play or adventure on behalf of the Pakistanis, we would be escalating this war. This is the Bholari airfield. You can see it again that the roof here is absolutely damaged. No such presentations or grabs have been given by the Pakistani sides. In fact, they have been guffawing on social media, and citing social media proofs as a corroboration to their victory. If you look at Sukkur airfield as well, this is in fact another grab which shows you what kind of damage was done. The roof of this airfield where they store their aircraft was completely damaged. It's hollow from the top. Moving on, the Chaklala airfield, the Noor Khan Airbase, something which is very, very important to Pakistan. In fact, this was the last nail in the coffin. This must have prompted the DGMO of Pakistan to call our DGMO at 3:35 exactly yesterday and say that let's have a cessation of hostilities, and that's when the ceasefire was agreed upon. This is an important airfield. The Sukkur airfield and the Rahim Yar Khan airfield also was damaged. As you can see, the runway on top was damaged. The airfield on the right at the bottom was also in fact destroyed by attacks. The Sargodha airfield, another one which is close to the heart of Pakistan's nuclear installations, was also damaged. The runway, of course, will be repaired, but it takes time to repair these runways, so that means no aircraft could take off from these air bases. The DGMO also went on to highlight, yes, there have been losses on the Pakistani side. They were professional enough not to gloat about it. They were professional and decent enough not to in fact give any advantage to the adversary at this point in time. The Pasrur air defense radar facility was also destroyed. This means that Pakistan was blinded by our attacks. They could not assess or in fact predict what kind of an attack will be precipitated on behalf of India. The Arifwala air defense radar was also destroyed along with Lahore, where Pakistan was in fact blindsided completely. They would not get to know what was coming their way. The Chunia air defense radar was also destroyed, once again rendering Pakistan completely defenseless. And the Bahawalpur terror camp is what was also highlighted. Why this particular building was chosen, and in fact they played out a video also in which the destruction was accounted for. There were 3 bombs, in fact attacks that were made one by one on each of the buildings. This was the original plan. This was a response to what happened in Pahalgam. And here you can see a cross-sectional view of the Bahawalpur terror. In fact, this is spread over a number of acres. So they were trying to show you how big it is, and they were trying to in fact keep away the civilian establishments from around this area. unaffected, and that's exactly what they did. The Muridke terror infra targets were also pointed out. This is, of course, before the attack, and this is what happened after the attack. This is where the attacks took place, where a number of terrorists were down. These were the videos, the impact points that were shown of Muridke, the home of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. So once again, a very professional and a very comprehensive press conference there by the Indian DGMO, General Ghai, who went on to say that this has been an exercise to teach Pakistan a lesson. Our response was proportionate. Our response was indicative of the fact that terrorism will not fly, and if Pakistan continues to violate the ceasefire that we find ourselves in currently, then they will have hell to pay. Major General P.K. Sehgal, defense expert, with us on the program. Ambassador Funchok Kastobdan, former diplomat, also joins us. Mr. Dilip Cherian, image guru, with us on the show as well. Mr. Alok Mehta, editorial director of India News, joins us on the show as well. General Sehgal, I'll begin with you, sir. From a defense perspective, India has been very, very strategic, very, very calculated, very calibrated in its response. We told Pakistan that Pahalgam will be avenged and any response would be considered retaliation. It would be an ascendance in the matrix of escalation. Pakistan did not understand when they sent that relentless, army of drones across the border. They also had their fighter jets come about and target, military establishments in India and installations in India, but they were taken down. What did you make of, the critical response that India has rendered on Pakistan and the ceasefire that we find ourselves in? General Sehgal.
I totally agree with you. India has been able to achieve what it set out to achieve. Our entire operation was very focused, very measured and non-escalatory. But we told Pakistan loud and clear that should you retaliate in a manner that is unacceptable to us, we will absolutely play hell into you. And they understood that we mean business. The amount of damage that we've done is absolutely horrendous. And the very fact that they approached us for a ceasefire clearly indicates that Pakistan was absolutely and totally on the back foot. And any further carrying on of the operation would have led to a total humiliation of Pakistan. Pakistan was actually in a very, very bad state, and that is the reason why they went running around to various countries, including America, asking them to sort of plead with India to come and hold the operation.
And sir, they also said that the Navy was ready, sir. Karachi was the target.
Navy is absolutely and totally said they were in a deterrent posture, but had their go-ahead been given, they would have attacked Karachi. In any case, Navy, because of the various motives that they issued, a virtual blockade of Navy of the Karachi port was already on, because the Pakistani Navy did not venture out. Neither their submarines, nor their frigates, nor their destroyers, none of them dared move out at all. The very fact that they were locked in completely indicates beyond a doubt that total domination of sea control and sea domination was achieved by the Indian Navy without having even fired a shot. But we were carrying out a lot of exercise in that area, firing exercise, telling them that we are absolutely ready and we meaning total business. And as far as the Air Force is concerned, I think all the three services, whether it was the Army, the Air Force or the Navy, acted in unison, acted with synergy. Their jointness, their integration and their coordination was absolutely stupendous. I think the entire world saw the professional acumen and the prowess of the Indian Armed Forces. The very fact that Pakistan has buckled under within 72 odd hours is clearly indicative of the supremacy of the Indian Armed Forces over Pakistan. And this is then the precision attack that we carried out without collateral damage to civilian and military establishments is again indicative of capability that India has been able to achieve. Only two countries in the world have demonstrated this, America and Israel. And third country which has actually demonstrated this beyond a doubt is India. Russians have also claimed that they have the same capability, but every time they've displayed their acumen in Ukraine, they've done a collateral damage to the civilian assets as well as certain military assets. In case of us, there was no collateral damage at all. Then the synergy that came into being between the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs and Economic Affairs is again something absolutely outstanding. All of them acted in unison. The aim was twofold. One is to weaken the political will of the Pakistani dispensation and the Pakistani army, which I think was achieved in a very major way. Otherwise, the Pakistanis wouldn't have run around and don't want to fight with you. We don't want to destroy the Pakistani army, the Pakistani nation. We are not enemies of the Pakistani people. However, we are the enemies of the Pakistani terrorist organizations, and we will hunt them out wherever they are. And that's exactly what India set out to do, and we achieved it in absolute totality.
Right,
The ninth
absolutely. Absolutely. And